Today on Sports Central, we'll be going over a college football game preview and prediction on a big matchup in the SEC in Week 15. This is going to be between the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Arkansas Razorbacks, two teams of which we've still got a lot at stake as we head into the second to last week in the regular season. For Alabama on one side, they're 9-0, top team in the nation, and definitely the favorite to win yet another national championship. Meanwhile, for Arkansas, they're 3-6 right now, but they still have a chance to possibly make it to a bowl game if everything goes right for them, so they still have a lot at stake as well. We're going to be going over a full game preview and prediction on this one here today, starting out with their team trends. Alabama beat LSU last week, and again, that wasn't even close from the start. 55-17 was the final score there. So, I mean, LSU being a team that has really struggled all season long, it was pretty clear before the game that we'd see Alabama get the win, but that was a huge win for the Crimson Tide. They're keeping it not even close from the start. Meanwhile, for Arkansas, they lost to Missouri in a tough one. 50-48 was the final score there. And really, Arkansas has been a very good team all season long, especially in comparison to how Arkansas has been in the past. It's just they've had a lot of close games. Like, they had a close game. There was a close loss to LSU a couple weeks ago, 27-24. They had a close loss to Missouri last week, 50-48. They also had a close game to Texas A&M back a few weeks ago. So, I mean, Arkansas has had a lot of close games, and this team has been honestly capable of being a winning team, but it's just been kind of tough for them down the stretch because of how tough of a schedule that they do have. But winning streaks for both these teams, Alabama is the top-ranked team in the nation. They're 9-0 with a 9-game winning streak. Arkansas is 3-6 with a 3-game losing streak. So Arkansas has been on a bit of a losing streak lately, and in comparison to how they started off for Arkansas, it's been a little bit of a rough end in November, and the early parts of December have been a little bit rough for them, but they definitely could flip that around if they could get a win here. This would be an insane win for Arkansas if they can get a win here. This game's be on Saturday, December 12th, noon Eastern in Fayetteville, Arkansas, so the Razorbacks will be the home team here. Spread currently says Alabama by 28. ESPN FPI's got Alabama 97%. Vegas prediction also going with Alabama 43-21. Here's a stat comparison for this game. Alabama's got 49 points per game, 18 points allowed. They got 361 pass yards a game, 187 rush yards. And then for yards allowed, they got 240 passing and 116 rushing. So Alabama's looking very good on both sides of the ball right now. They're just playing all around just great football. I mean, if you look at the stats here, once again, I mean, 361 pass yards a game. That has been very impressive out of Mac Jones this season, which, I mean, Mac Jones has put up over 3,000 yards already with 27 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So he's got a great touchdown-interception ratio. He's got a great amount of yardage. He's also very accurate. So that puts Mac Jones as possibly a top 3 quarterback in the SEC, maybe even one of the best in the nation right now. Meanwhile, for Arkansas, they got Felipe Franks, of course, the transfer from Florida, who's had a great season for the Razorbacks. He's been a huge addition to this team. He's done very well. Over 2,000 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. So he doesn't really have stats in comparison to, say, Kyle Trask or Mac Jones by any means, but he does have some good stats that have definitely been good for Arkansas because, I mean, in the past, we just have not seen a good quarterback in Arkansas, and since they were able to get Felipe Franks, who's a pretty good quarterback, that's been pretty helpful for the Razorbacks here. But for Arkansas, they do have 28 points per game, 33 points allowed. They had 254 pass yards a game. They got 159 rush yards. And then for yards allowed, they got 263 passing and 189 rushing. So really for both teams here, there's no doubt that Alabama is the better team statistically, and they've got a lot more talent than Arkansas does. But Arkansas still, I mean, once again, they've surprised a lot of people this season, including me. Like, I didn't think Arkansas would possibly be on the line of being a bowl team this year. So, I mean, I'm sure most of us can agree on that. So it's been a pretty good season considering that. Some key points for this one. Alabama's definitely been the most dominant team in the nation. No doubt about that one. I mean, Alabama's been very, very good all season long. They haven't even had a single close game yet this season. Like, they've just had blowout after blowout. And really, I mean, they blew out Auburn a couple weeks ago, 42-13. They put 63 points up on Kentucky. They put 63 up on Ole Miss. They blew out Texas A&M earlier on in the season. Blew out Georgia a few weeks ago too. So Alabama, there's no doubt that this team is the best team in the nation. Like, honestly, it would shock me if Alabama took a loss here, mainly because of how dominant this team has been all season long. And I definitely think, I mean, we've seen this team be very motivated, especially after last season, which was probably one of the worst seasons that Alabama's had in the past decade. And this season, I mean, it's been great for Alabama so far. They've been playing all around just very, very well, and that is something you got to watch out for moving forward. Arkansas started well, but they have not been very good down the stretch. That's been the thing for Arkansas over the past few weeks, is they just have not been as good. Like, they're on a 3-game losing streak right now, and they got to turn this thing around, because if they go 3-7, I mean, after this game, which is more than likely right now considering how good Alabama is, I mean, that puts them out of contention probably for a bowl game, because that puts you with 4 more losses than wins. But still, I mean, there's no doubt this season has been a big improvement off of the past few seasons for Arkansas, so you can't forget about that. But it's a crucial game for both these teams nonetheless. For Arkansas, if they can go 4-6, that puts them in a good position to possibly make a bowl game. But for Alabama, this would put them at 10-0 and a very good chance to make it to the college football playoff. And they've definitely probably already clinched the, or they're close to clinching the SEC West if they haven't already yet. Like Texas A&M is right behind them, but I mean Alabama did beat Texas A&M, so Texas A&M would need a miracle to beat Alabama out for the SEC West. But for Alabama, still, I mean, if they do take a loss here, that's going to be a very unfortunate event for sure. But I don't see that happening a single bit. I think Alabama is going to be very dominant in this matchup. We're going to see them get an easy win here. Halftime score is going to be 21-7. We're going to see Alabama have a 2-touchdown lead, but it's not going to be all that big of a lead until the second half. And I think in the second half, Alabama takes off and they get a big win here. 42-13 is going to be your final score. Honestly, it would not surprise me a single bit to see Alabama score 50 in this matchup, but I don't really want to predict 50 points because that is a little bit excessive for a prediction. But I mean, it would not surprise me to see Alabama hit 50 points here. But once again, final score for me is going to be 42-13. Arkansas is only going to score 13 in this matchup. Probably is going to be 90% towards Alabama, so I am extremely confident that Alabama is going to get the win here. Like, honestly, I would be shocked if Alabama took a loss. Like, that would be possibly the biggest upset we've ever seen because, I mean, Alabama's been so dominant all season long. But I really don't think Crimson Tide fans, and I don't really think Alabama in general, is going to have to worry about taking a loss here. I think Arkansas, like, they don't have much momentum right now, and Alabama's just the more dominant and the better team. But let me know your thoughts and comments below on this one. Let me know your score predictions, all of that down below. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. But then again, thanks again for watching. I appreciate you all sticking around. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. I'll see you all later.